Today we're here for a tow hearing. Cause number is J2TH26-003. So with that being said, Mr. Cardenas, tell me a little bit more about why you feel like your car is illegally towed. Go ahead.
My vehicle was towed from the Landings apartment complex at 2509 East Lake Shore Drive here in Waco, Texas. The Landings apartment complex has parking spaces available. It doesn't have any kind of assigned parking spaces. I was trying to say the correct words. They do have some rudimentary handicap signs that are up and spaces that are here. However, in front of my apartment in Building 7, I stay here with the mother of my child to take care of my child here. And I am disabled. I do have a handicap placard. I do display it, and I park either one or two of my vehicles that I have placards for there on the two spots that are rudimentarily there. However, those parking spaces do not comply with the Texas Code. With the Texas Department of License and Regulations, and especially it's under Rule 68.104, where it must be where the parking spaces must include international symbol accessibility in contrast to color of the pavement. Paved on the parking spaces, which also must include the words "no parking" painted in those accessible aisles. Capital letters, height of 12 inches, things of that nature are need to be provided. Proper signage needs to be provided for these handicap parking places by the Landings apartment complex, and they are not. They are in violation of not only the American Disability Act, their federal regulations that stipulate signage for handicap parking spaces, but as well as the Texas Department of License and Regulations as well. Since these spaces are not compliant with the handicap signage, those spaces are null and void. They're just regular parking spaces. If you can see from some of the pictures I've sent, they are just blue handicap parking spaces. There is no signage on the pavement at all. So at this point, and according to even the Texas Constitution of Statutes, section 469.02, 052 of adoption of standards and specification and rulemaking for the signage is also another place where it describes how handicap parking spaces should be set up and become legal. To be accepted as a handicap parking spot. The Landings, once again, the Landings has not been able to, did not provide that at all. They're very rudimentary, very basic. They do not comply with a handicap parking spot. Therefore, the reason why my vehicle towed, even if I had, whether I had a handicap placard up there or not, or an expired tag, my vehicle should not have been towed from there at all. They have their own pictures. Rapid Recovery does have some pictures. I think it's like picture 12 and 13, where they actually took pictures of the signs themselves. The other reason why I shouldn't pay or shouldn't have been towed was that the apartment complex did not even place any kind of signage or sticker saying my vehicle was in violation of anything like that. No management notified me, the maintenance or anyone like that, any representative of the apartment complex had advised me of that. Rapid Recovery took it upon themselves to just show up, target my vehicle, and tow it.
So your vehicle, was it parked in a handicap parking spot?
Well, there's two places up in front of our building where our Building 7 is, and those are. I took a picture of my gray vehicle. I don't know if you can see it.
Is that the gray
Nissan Armada?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I did take a picture without it being there present at the parking spot. So there's just a blank spot there, the two blank spots right next to each other, next to the tree. That is on the trees, which is on the left-hand side of it, the car. I took a picture of those two spaces. And I also took a wide picture for you showing the other handicap parking spaces that are in front of building 6, which is next door to us. I took a picture of the pavement, which would be underneath the vehicles, in front of the blue signs. Those are the really basic signs, and those are also not the standard Texas Department of Regulations signage that is required for a handicap parking space to be displayed as a handicap parking space. Those are just the basic ones that they just bought just to put up, just to satisfy whoever was living there prior to us. I'm disabled, and it was really cool that they had those signs up there, in front of our building, so it made it really convenient for me to be able to walk from my vehicle to the apartment. The mother of my child's been living here since April 2024. And it wasn't until January of 2026 we started seeing Rapid Recovery come in, and start towing other people's vehicles and then towed our vehicles as well. And this is the second time one of my vehicles has been towed by them. As I've been doing all the research and everything, I have found out that under Rule 68.0104, the landings is in violation of proper handicap signage. And if they're violating the Texas law, they're also the American Disability Associations has a federal law that they're in violation of, and so these parking spaces are just basically invalid. They're not handicap parking spaces at all.
Okay, so your vehicle, was it parked in a handicap parking space prior to them removing it?
No, well, the space that it was parked in, that's the way. That's one thing I'm trying to, I guess, say yes, it's kind of, it's not a handicap parking spot. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, was it parked in front of one of those signs?
Yes,
that they mark handicap. Okay,
yes,
and did you have your handicap placard up?
Yes, sir.
Like so everything was up. You parked there all of the time.
Yes.
And you park there, and then you come out one day and your car is gone.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you've been parking here over the last 3 years.
Yes, Your Honor. That's a couple of years, and have not had any issues from the landings, apartment complex management, or anything like that. Like I said, it wasn't until January of this year that we started seeing Rapid Recovery come in and start towing vehicles, and then towing our car. We have another car there that's a Jeep, white Jeep, that got towed as well. That belongs to the mother of my child that lives here.
So they put on the reason unauthorized handicap expired placard. Was your placard valid at the time it was towed?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
And that was displayed inside of the vehicle?
Yes. But even if it was there or not there, the handicap parking spot is invalid. It's fruit of a poisonous tree, I should say. It's invalid. The handicap, the place where I was parking at is not a handicap parking spot at all, according to the Texas Department of License and Regulations, or because I looked it up on the Texas Constitutions and statutes that the city follows and the state follows, and that's what it was. The county follows. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't hear you.
So I think so. What I'm getting is that you're telling me that regardless as to whether or not you had a valid handicap placard, they did not have the proper signage for handicap parking. Therefore,
Correct.
it was open. It was it's even though the sign is there, it's open free will for anyone to park there.
Correct, Your Honor. Correct. Absolutely. They're in violation of the Texas Department of License Regulations for signage. So, and this is all the stuff that I have discovered, trying to, information I have found because of this happening. So,
Have you contacted the state to file a complaint?
not yet, Your Honor. I will be.
Okay. So I see, there was, some documents that were filed, some pictures. Let me move on to the defendant. And let me just add, you want to make sure to you, Mr. Cardenas, the pictures that I'm looking at, because they're not labeled plaintiff's exhibits or defendant's exhibits. I'm assuming these are all yours because that's where you were referring to pictures of your car, or these are all the defendant's pictures.
Those are my photos.
Okay, those are your photos.
Numbered. Are you talking about the ones that are numbered?
No.
Bottom right corner.
No, that's I don't have any.
I have
I don't
received
have any.
no evidence whatsoever from the plaintiff at all. I even called your office and spoke to the court clerk, and she stated that the only thing that was submitted and the only evidence that was submitted was a copy of the tow invoice. So I have not received any evidence at all.
So this rule 68.104, you're saying you didn't get a copy of none of this?
Anything. I did my due diligence to make sure you as a judge and the plaintiff both received my evidence within 5 days before the working days before the court date. I have yet to receive any sort of evidence from Mr. Cardenas.
Mr. Cardenas, did you send these pictures to Rapid Recovery?
I had turned them into your office, Your Honor, and I spoke to the clerk. I didn't have a means of sending it to them, the email. When I did ask Rapid Recovery for an email, they just gave me the runaround. When I did turn it in the clerk, she just said that I will go ahead and scan these and send them to them since they already had their email address.
So okay, all right. So this is what we're.
I will tell you when I called your office so that you can.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this because in order to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to figure out what's going on, you, Ms. Klein, you've been in my court before, so you know what's expected. Mr. Cardenas he had. So this is what we're going to do, Mr. Cardenas. Everything that you provided to me, you have to send to her. Okay.
Yes.
If you don't have an email address, then you need to mail it. You have the mailing address. If you don't have the mailing address, you know where they're located because you went to pick your car up from there. You drop it off with them. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to reset this case for 7 days. You're going to have to make sure that they get a copy of everything that you plan on using at trial. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then, Judge, I just for your record, so you're aware, I did contact your office. Let's see, 752. I can actually search it right here. I contacted your office. When was this? Yesterday at 9:07 a.m. to ask and see if there was any evidence for this case that I needed that I have not received yet, and they told me no.
Okay, I don't see any notes in there, so whomever you talk to, make sure that you get a name. And I would, if it's something that you want to use as part of your case, I would, everything that you submit, make sure it's in writing.
Yes,
if that's the case, okay? Because I don't know, what's what, and we're just going to do it that way. Everything needs to be in writing, okay?
Understood.
All right. Okay. All right. So you got your marching orders. Make sure they get a copy of everything that you plan on using at trial. Case is going to be reset for 7 days.
I do have their email address now. I do have their email address now.
Okay. I'm sorry.
The 15th.
Give me a second. I will give both of you a date and time. I'm going to put both of you in the waiting room, and then I will come back with a new date and time so you'll know it. Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yes, sir.
All right. Court's now back in session. This case is going to be rescheduled to April 15th, 2026. at 8:15 a.m. That being said, case is reset. And make sure we have everything needed. And we're not gonna any more delays. We'll check the hearing.
Thank
Got
you.
it?
Judge, I have a quick question before we start.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, so this morning we did not receive evidence from the plaintiff until 3:45. McLennan County did send me evidence at 7:55 this morning, but it's only 15 pages. And from counting on what, I'm not able to open any of the plaintiff's evidence. So I just
Okay,
need to verify that this is insane.
we're gonna get into that. I understand your concern. We're gonna address that
Okay.
before we get started. And so I want to welcome everyone to the McLennan County Justice of the Peace Court Precinct 2 remote proceedings. I am Judge James Lee, Justice of the Peace presiding. Today we're here for a tow hearing. Cause number is J2TH 26-003. As plaintiff, I have Van Cardenas. Is that correct? Unmute your microphone, sir. Van Cardenas, unmute
Yes, sir.
your
I got it right now.
mic- All right.
Okay, with me.
You are the plaintiff, correct?
Yes, sir.
Suit against the Landing Apartments and Rapid Recovery. Representing Rapid Recovery, I have Klein, correct?
Yes.
All right, this hearing was reset. It was reset to allow you, the plaintiff, the opportunity to submit your exhibits, not only to the court, but also to the plaintiff. You were advised, instructed to make sure that both parties, yourself, that make sure that the other party, which is the Landing and Rapid Recovery, received any exhibits or documents or that you plan on using in trial. At the last hearing, it was discovered that you had not submitted that, and this hearing was scheduled initially on the 8th, and I reset it for 7 days. At the bottom of the hearing letter, it states all motions and or supporting documents must be emailed or faxed to the court and or all parties at least 5 working days before the scheduled court date. That was on your original hearing letter and the one that was resubmitted to you. So, to you, Mr. Cardenas, and to both parties, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. To address your concern, Ms. Klein, I'm going to direct the first question to you, Mr. Cardenas.
Yes, sir.
Did you comply with the rules of civil procedure as well as the hearing letter as it relates to making sure that the other party received any exhibits you plan on using in today's case?
I believe I failed in that, Your Honor. And that answer to the question would be no, sir. No. Unfortunately, I failed on that part.
Okay, and so with that being said, to you, Ms. Klein, seeing that you have not had the opportunity to review the documents, do you object to any documents that he plans on using at today's hearing that you have not received? When I say object, do you disagree with him using any documents that he plans on using at today's hearing that you have not had the opportunity to review?
I had an opportunity to review what McLennan County has sent us, but as far as what the plaintiff has sent us, he sent it in 4 emails with zips. And when I try to open those zips, I am not able to access any information.
So I'm asking you again.
Yes.
Do you object to any documents you have not had the opportunity to review prior to today's hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to give him the opportunity to present his case. And if he presents something that you have not reviewed, then you're going to get the opportunity to say, Judge, I have not had the opportunity to review that. I believe he shouldn't be allowed to use it. Okay, that's how this is going to go.
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. Okay, with that being said, Mr. Cardenas, present your case against the defendant.
Your Honor, may I request just a continuance on this, and that way it gives us both an opportunity?
We're not continuing this case. We're not continuing. We're here to have trial.
I am unfortunately, I'm not sure what she has received. I had believed that she had received the documents and paperwork at the beginning when I had dropped them off to your office. I don't know what she has, Your Honor. So, I mean, the only thing I can say that the parking slot spaces that are there here at the landings that provide are not compliant with the handicap um, regulations by the Texas Department of License and Regulations. They're even they just have the pole with a sign. They don't have any of the other markings indicating that it is a functional handicap spot according to the Texas state law. Therefore, that space is not a handicap spot, and that's my argument there in reference to that. And any towing, any ticketing is illegal.
Why is it illegal?
It is because the parking spot does not comply with the Texas Department of Regulations.
So
Under
let's refresh everyone's memory as to why your vehicle was towed. You're stating in your petition, you stated that, let's see here. Said that your car was towed. You provided the information as to who it was towed by. Okay. So you said statement, you said, so the reason why you believe that it shouldn't have been towed, it said that a statement that no sign restricting parking was posted at the parking facility. So you're saying that no sign, according to your petition, no sign restricting parking was posted at the parking facility. Now, I do recall at the last hearing, you stated that you are disabled and that you had your handicap decal
That's
inside
correct.
of the vehicle. And it was there at the time that the vehicle was towed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. And I did
Okay.
put that the handicap spot does not comply with the Texas and city code laws. I said it does not comply, sir.
The vehicle was towed from handicap spot that does not comply with the Texas and city code laws, doesn't have proper markings and correct signage. I hear you, but do you understand the toll laws and how everything? I understand as far as the markings and things, but the question is, and I want to make sure that we're clear. Your car was parked in a handicap parking spot that did not meet all of the regulations.
Correct. And
but your decal was visible inside your vehicle or outside of the vehicle, and it was legal, meaning everything was registered correctly, everything was up to date.
Yes,
and they told your vehicle. And they
yes, sir.
told.
Yes, sir. I renewed in December for another 4 years for my disability.
All right. So everything was legal. They towed your car, which was parked in a handicap parking spot, and you have permission to park there because you are handicapped, disabled, and you had all of the legal markings on your vehicle to show that you can park there.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Let's keep it like that, because when we get into the rules and regulations and things like that, that may not have much weight in regards to why your vehicle was towed. Because if it was legally parked there, according to your terms, by what you're telling me under oath, then it shouldn't have been towed. So let me do this. Let me get with Miss Klein. Now, Miss Klein, you tell me, why did your company tow this man's vehicle?
Am I able to share my screen?
Sure.
All right.
Now, I'm gonna ask you, is this something new? Whereas
everything has been sent to you and
to him. Gotcha. Okay, good deal.
The initial court hearing. I didn't know if I needed to resend it.
No. You did not need to resend. All right.
All right, so this is our whole packet. The only thing that's not included in this packet that was for the plaintiff, or that was sent to the plaintiff, was our contract, which Judge already sent that to you. I have no problem with the plaintiff reviewing this contract. We just don't like to send it out to multiple parties because we don't like to have multiple copies of our contract floating around, okay? All right, so this is the invoice, and this
Well,
tells
let me ask you this. What does your contract entail? Your contract is with the landing apartments, right?
it just shows that we are contracted to patrol for that apartment complex.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so this is a copy of the invoice. We did not tow this vehicle for not having a handicap placard or parking in a handicap. We towed it for having an expired placard. So the placard was expired as well as altered. So this is the invoice to show that we did not tow it for just parking and handicap. It was towed for expired placard. Okay. And then we scroll down here, all of this information, this is just what we use to release it. So we have his ID, the VSF form that he filled out, as well as the motor vehicle record of the vehicle that we were required to pull. We have sign pictures of the entrance. So this is 1, 2 signs. And then now we start with the vehicle pictures. So these are just a roundabout photos of the vehicle showing that it did park and handicap. We like to get as many photos as possible to show if there's any possible damage prior to the vehicle being towed. So right here, you can see it says 12/29, but, and this showing that it was parked in a handicap spot. When you look at this photo, you can see that the hole punches say December of 2025. And then the placard says 12/29, and you can see that the 9 has been altered. I don't know what it said prior. I'm assuming a 5, but I mean, that you can definitely tell that there has been some alterations, and the hole punches do not match.
This was a picture inside of his vehicle.
This is
y'all took.
outside. This is
This was
taken outside.
outside, but you know what I'm saying? The placard, of course, was inside of the vehicle.
Yes.
And this placard, I see, because if it's 29 would be punched on the placard.
So the argument, of course, this is all hearsay because I was not there, but the argument that I was told whenever the plaintiff came into the office was that he accidentally put the wrong one up, that he's sorry, is there any way that we could fix it? He's handicapped. And unfortunately, at the time of tow, the right handicap placard was not up, so that we're not able to know whether or not that they are actually handicapped or disabled without having the correct placard up. So I feel like the plaintiff, of course, I know you said something about we're not going to talk about the laws of the specific spot, but I feel like the plaintiff, he's trying to find a way around, because even in my photos, I didn't submit any more photos, but I did have the driver go back over there. The plaintiff is still parking in that spot. So if it was an issue with it being a handicap spot, then he wouldn't continue to park there.
Well, I hear you there, but if he's handicapped, you should be able
Yeah.
to try to park in handicap. You should be able to park in a handicap parking spot, the one that is
Oh,
supposedly
yeah.
labeled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
what I'm saying. If there was an issue with, oh, this handicap spot is not a legal handicap spot, and he was handicapped, I would think that he would go park in a spot that's legally a handicap spot.
but Ms. Klein, there aren't any legal handicap parking spots there, according to what he's saying.
Right. And
Now, okay, so here's
Yeah,
my
I'm not from Waco, so I don't know. I've never
thing.
been there.
But this is the property, so you know your
Yeah.
driver, or if you haven't driven over there, based on what he's telling me, there are, you got the signs up, and that's a regulation that needs to be reported to the state. That's a violation that needs to be reported to the state in regards to them not in compliance with the ADA and any other laws that
So,
pertain
Judge,
to the handicapped and
I would
disabled.
like to add to that, because when I was doing research after our prior hearing, because I've never heard of this law. So when I
Uh-huh.
looked at this rule, it does say that there's new requirements, but it says that the requirements only apply to properties who are being remodeled or being built on or after August of 2020. And this property was actually built in 2003. So it's grandfathered in.
Okay.
I do
So
believe did have probable cause considering that the placard was expired, and in our opinion, that was a valid handicap spot at the time of tow.
Would I be able to ask a question?
So I have a question first. This is to you, Mr. Cardenas.
Yes, sir.
You're under oath, and you stated that you had it re-registered in December. December of what year?
2025, December 2025. I have the
Okay.
current placard at there.
Okay. So you have you have proof that your vehicle was registered, and that you have the correct placard, and you had the correct placard at the time, but it wasn't displayed correctly in there. So where did this placard come from?
That I do not know. That I went to the yard when I had to retrieve my vehicle. When I went to the vehicle and I pulled the placard off of there, I did show whoever was next to me that let me in that I had the current placard and it was correct and current on there.
Okay, hold on. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Miss Klein, are
Yes.
these is this time stamped?
I do
So-
not believe so, but this is at the property. You can see that this is,
I know it's at the property, but
so this, you
is
can
it?
see the property in the back.
Are
And
these pictures time stamped? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
so they are, I just don't have my phone anymore.
Okay.
Because I work for the company, and I have all of we have 5 locations, and each location has to send photos of every car that they're towed to 2 different places. And so I had to delete almost all of my storage, whenever I can get a screenshot of them, if you give me just a second, I can get a screenshot of it timestamped.
I was just wondering if they were time stamped. Go ahead.
If they're not timestamped, then they're not.
Mr. Cardenas, go ahead
Yes,
with
sir.
your question. Go ahead.
And I was going to ask if the Rapid Tow Company, if they're, if they're any of the employees or the tow truck drivers, or if they're law enforcement. It was going to be part of one of the questions, because the law that says on there, it says it must have proper marking. It doesn't say, here or there, one sign may work, the other sign may work. The rule on there, the 68.104, which I had stated, as well as the Texas law of 49.052, those 2 laws here in the state of Texas say they must comply with the handicap parking spots, and that parking spot is not compliant. So it's just, I'm saying whatever they produce is what I had said last week, fruit from a poisonous tree. It is not valid. Even these pictures, if they're not timestamped, then those are not evidence. So
Mr. Cardenas,
Mr.
Cardenas,
Yeah.
Mr. Cardenas, is
I'm
this
not
your
an attorney.
vehicle?
Unfortunately, I'm not an attorney, so I'm trying to do the best I can, Your Honor.
Is this your vehicle that we're looking at? Is this your vehicle?
Yes, yes, it's one of my vehicles. Yes.
All right. And this picture, according to what has been presented to the court, was taken prior to your vehicle being towed.
I believe so. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And this is the same placard. If we were to zoom in, it's still going to show the 25 punched and the 29 written in.
Would I need to bring the new one that I got in December?
I'm talking about this one right here that we're looking at today.
Just to show I was current, Your Honor. That's all. That's all I was just wondering.
No, I'm talking about at the time your vehicle was towed. So here's my thing.
Yes.
In regards to the rules and so forth that you're quoting, they really have no relevance if you didn't have the proper identification or proper placard in place at the time it was towed.
But if it was then an illegal thing or expired, then why was no police officer there to issue me a ticket and or to request that tow of the vehicle? Why did the tow company take it upon themselves to act like law enforcement to tow the vehicle on behalf of the apartment?
That is a question you would need to get with the apartment management because they sign a contract with them to monitor the parking lot. That's that they signed this contract with them so that they don't have to call law enforcement every time someone is parked there illegally. It's a contract is a contract. It's sad to say a contract is a contract. Landing Apartments signed a contract with Rapid Recovery so to monitor the parking lot, and many businesses do it as well. And if they find that someone is parked there illegally or don't have the proper identification on the vehicle to park there, then they're going to tow it according to the contract that they have with that apartment complex. If you had provided proof that at the time your vehicle was towed, like you said under oath, whenever you first made your presentation, and you had all of the proper identification on your vehicle, then you would have won this case. The fact that you provided me with proof that at the time your vehicle was towed, you had a punch card that said 25. It was punched in 25, but the markings on it is 29, gave them reason to tow your car. Now, what you said is since then, you've had everything updated. And the proper placard is in place. So your vehicle shouldn't be towed. No more.
So the date of towed, I mean, it's well after December the 25th, 2000. I understand, Your Honor.
No, it was well after, so you had some grace in between then to get it done.
I did, Your Honor. I didn't know if I was gonna. I didn't know I had to. I could have scanned that and presented that as well with this case.
Well, it's not the fact that it's not. So here's the thing: it's not the. It would be a different story if they were law enforcement. They could probably run it through their law enforcement system and see if it's actually registered. They may have that capability of doing that. Tow companies don't have that. They go by what's visually in front of them. Not to defend them, but it is what it is. That's what they do. That's the business that they're in. And it's sad. And if you have a problem with the tow company, then you need to go back to the person who signed a contract with them and find you somewhere else to stay that don't have an agreement with Rapid Recovery.
Understood.
That's the only thing I can tell you. In most apartment complexes, they have some type of agreement with somebody, or if it's gated and so forth. I think it's unfortunate that the vehicle was towed. I do, but they had probable cause to tow it. And that's what I'm looking for. Did they have probable cause to tow your vehicle? Yes, they did. Because you did not have the correct placard in place at the time of the tow. So with that being said, whatever you paid to have it towed, that's an expense you're gonna have to absorb.
Understood.
And if you haven't paid it to get it towed, you might want to get it out now. I mean, if you hadn't paid to get your car out of the tow, out of their possession, because they're still.
If they've been back, if they've been back, they can see that my everything is correct on there.
You shouldn't have any issues with them any longer. If you have a problem in regards to the markings and so forth, I would strongly suggest that you could contact your local state representative or your state senator and address that to them and let them know that this apartment is not in compliance And you could also report it, you know, to the state in regards to them not in compliance with the code, if you believe they should be in compliance with the code. And I would strongly encourage you to do that, so that not only you would make sure that there's proper markings, but I'm quite sure there's other elderly and disabled individuals over there that would also want to make sure that there's proper markings. Because what we don't want is someone parking there that shouldn't park there, because it wasn't properly signed. All right. It's judgment in
Yes, sir.
favor of the defendant in this particular case. Right?
Understood. Thank you.
What's your